just gone 10-9. You can watch our interview with Matthew Davis again from Clarbeston Road. He scored the winner in the Senior Cup final. That's going to be on the Facebook page. Also, in the first hour of the show, Tom did a brilliant interview actually with the Haverfordwest County Chairman Rob Edwards at the end of the season. Of course, for the Bluebirds, they missed out on the playoffs for Europe, but Rob covered a range of subjects, Tom, didn't you, in that first hour?
Yeah, covered the disappointment of not getting it through, but also the 10% of we get to actually relax. He was saying that we've played 2 seasons on 2 weeks off because of the European playoff and how far they went. Tony Pennant came in, of course, during that off season, so the European adventure wasn't even Tony's to kind of begin with. So he's very much looking forward to that. He mentioned about his time in the dugout at that Valero match that we mentioned earlier. He wasn't a fan. But also he touched on Tony Pennant's predecessor, Nicky Hayen, doing very well at Club Bruges. You would think that would be the step up from Haverfordwest County, but he's like, it shows that the JD Cymru is a great platform for others to springboard off. And we also looked at, of course, the FAW are trying to bring in some changes over the next 1 year, 2 years, and 3 years. And he gave good views on that. Balanced, I'm going to say.
Yeah, he's always got something to say, Rob, and you can listen to that interview again. That will be on the catch-up page of our website. One of the things, Gord, that the FAW spoke about actually after the show last week, talk about bringing VAR into the Cymru Premier. Now, I read that and I just thought if there's things that need fixing in the Cymru Premier, and the answer they come up with is let's bring in VAR. What's the question?
Yeah, I don't think it was the only point, to be fair, Ben, but
no.
I do agree. I do agree with what you're suggesting. There's more important things than VAR in the Welsh Premier Football that they should be concentrating on. The league structure is one that I've always had a bugbear. I'm not a fan of this split. I'd rather see a few more teams in the league itself and have a proper league season, play each other twice. Plus, there's cup competitions. You can play a team about 4 or 5 times in a season. That doesn't bode well in my eyes for Welsh. For building the Welsh Cymru Football League, it needs to be readdressed, and they are going to do it because they brought out some sort of format this week. I don't know. Did you see it, Tom?
I haven't seen that format, but I'm looking at the strength of the North and the South League, where you've actually got top 3 teams competing, and of course the winner of the North Club, the North Division, can't even qualify for the top tier because of administration and state and things. Why not support the best team in those regions, get that right place, similar to Pontypridd going down? There's been too many points deductions this season, and the FAW surely should be supporting these individual clubs, make sure that they are compliant.
Yeah, there's a lot on the criteria. They need to work with them and not against them, to be honest with you. I mean, it's no matter what club you go to, you always got the same old faces doing the same old jobs. And perhaps they haven't got the skills that are needed to elevate them. So I think the FAW should be having people in there to help them to achieve that, so that to make things better for all clubs.
I think the nucleus is there in the Cymru Premier as well. There are some good teams in there now, and some good players. And God, you've said it many a times on the show that it's a competitive division now. And Haverfordwest are an example of a team who are really punching hard in that league now. They've definitely improved. They're getting decent crowds. There are other good sides in there as well. So if you could expand that league a little bit, make it more competitive, make it a bit easier to follow where there isn't a split, I think those are things that would have been more positive for the Cymru Premier rather than, and I know VAR was just part of a package, wasn't it? But it's still going to be costly, and there was a long delay in Scotland bringing VAR in because of the cost of it. I think, well, the Scottish Premier League had to wait, and I don't know. It will be interesting to see, but it was a good interview of Rob. He's always very forthright and answers our questions, so have a listen to that again. That will be available on purewestradio.com. Normally, we, at this point in the calendar, we'd be reflecting on the opening couple of weeks of the cricket season, Gord, wouldn't we? How was the weather over the weekend? Could we have got some cricket?
To be honest with you, Ben, a lot of sides probably could have played on Sunday, but we did have a bit of rain on Saturday, and there was a bit of the wet stuff on Sunday morning. But that's by the by now. They've made the decision. We know it's going to start on the 11th of May, and those 2 other fixtures are fit in the bank holiday setup in May and August. So we'll just have to go with it, Ben. It's as simple as that. I mean, ironically, we had Richard Harris on a few weeks ago, and he said, we should be starting in the middle of June. it was said off the hip, but it's going to be the second week in May, and hopefully we will get a bit of summer going by then, and we can start going out and enjoying our cricket, because cup competition starts straight away. There's going to be so much cricket going on. The 2020 as well going. We'll have more than enough cricket in the summer.
It's very quickly going to get quite busy, isn't it, because of the slight delay to the season. Yeah, you're right. So the forecast does look a bit better as well once we get past the bank holiday weekend. So the 11th of May, Cresselly, Loreni, Haverfordwest, Langham, Narberth, St Ishmael's, Neyland, Whitland and Saundersfoot, Carew hopefully will be the opening round of matches, and we'll get some play, and teams will be able to get going again. And then they'll have those extra matches, of course, on the bank holiday. So I'm sure some bank holiday plans were changed on the back of that decision. But there we are. We will have coverage of the cricket season, of course, on Pure West Sport. We've got until now, and there's only a few minutes left, so we should wrap up the Premier League weekend as well. Title's going to be staying with Man City, Gord, I think, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, you've got to fancy them, even though Arsenal are playing well. It's going to be an interesting twist towards the end of the season. It always is. And unfortunately, Spurs couldn't do City a favour at the weekend. And we got to play them as well. Man United, I can't see Man United doing anybody a favour at the moment. I mean, I can't see them doing very well in the FA Cup either. Then
I was listening to a podcast actually when I was running earlier, and the
we all know that underdogs don't do very well in cup.
We do, yeah. The question was, can Manchester United find any more less embarrassing ways to win a football match? Because they did it against Coventry, then they followed it up against Sheffield United. It's not easy for Ten Hag at the moment, is it? Does it mean that they're going to cause a big upset and win the FA Cup? Stranger things have happened,
right? You just never know, do you?
Yeah.
You just never know.
And would that be enough to save his job? Because it didn't happen for Van Gaal, did it?
No, I don't think I think he wants to get out himself. By reading between the lines with his interviews, I don't think he's very comfortable at United.
No, I think that it does look like it's going that direction now, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. No, as for Tottenham, terrible first half, 3-0 down, gave it a bit more in the second half. But annoyingly, as a Tottenham fan, Arsenal are quite good. I have to say, Arsenal are quite good at the moment. It is, and Martin Odegaard, I think, is looking top class, and he destroyed Chelsea in the week. So, it might be looking like City are going to do it, but Arsenal are playing quite well at the moment. Cleddau Casuals Fantasy Football League, just a quick update. I dropped down the table, but I've actually a bit of a surge going on here, chaps, and I'm back up to fourth now.
Well done.
About 50 points off Sam Parker, who's the league leader. Do we know Sam?
No, I don't know Sam.
Evan Watts in second.
Is he related to Nosy?
That's his uncle, I think. Evan Watts is second. Gavin Pittard is third.
Swansea City goalkeeper. Second place.
So I'm still fighting, but I'm fourth at the moment in the Europa League qualification spots. So we'll see.
You're doing all right, Ben.
Doing all right.
You're coming good at the right time. The business end of the season.
I'm going to get some Clarby Road momentum, I think, to follow through for the end of the season. Well, listen, Gordon, thank you. Enjoyed your company this evening. Tom, thank you very much indeed as well. Some great coverage as well of the Senior Cup final on Pure West Radio and on pembrokeshiresport.co.uk as well. You can watch that interview with Matt again. That will stay up on our social media pages. We'll be back again next Monday between 7 and 9 for more Pure West Sport. It's going to be the Red Thread with Tim Cooper up next. Good night.
Pure West Radio.